Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing a review for Suicide Squad. So let's get into this. Yeah, because people are already hating on this movie, don't know why. So yeah, this movie stars Will Smith, Jared Leto, Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, Jay Hernandez, Adewale Akinoi Abedej. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. Cara Delevingne, Karen Fukuhara, Adam Beach, and Ben Affleck and Ezra Miller in some minor roles. So yeah, um, and Common as well. Common and Jim Patrick's as well, and I believe that's basically it from anybody who's important. Yeah. Okay, before I begin though, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch this movie and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back here and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. By the way, if the poster here on the sides looks a bit bad, I'm still trying to figure out the editing. So yeah, I did the first one for Swiss Army Man. It came out better than I thought. I'm still trying to improve it. So yeah, 10 seconds are up, by the way. So yeah, sorry if the poster is still a bit too sideways. I guess, part of the poster is still out of the video. So I'm still trying to get the editing correct. Takes time to improve. So yeah, 10 seconds are up. And yeah, so yeah, for those who have yet to actually watch the movie and haven't already again, and are still here, don't leave a comment or be messaging me that never gave you a fair warning, because as usual, I did. So as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. So basically, you have the Suicide Squad. You have these group of criminals, 5 or 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken. You have Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Boomerang, El Diablo, Slipknot, and Killer Croc, and they all have to go after Enchantress, who's played by Cara Delevingne. Enchantress and her brother, Incubus, are trying to take over the world, which is, generic, I guess, in and of itself. But they're trying to take over the world, so now you have the Suicide Squad, so you have the 6 people I just mentioned, alongside with Rick Flag and she was an Arrow, Katana, and Katana, and they're all trying to stop this witch. They call her a witch, but she's technically a demigod, or 2 demigods, because it's Enchantress and then the brother Incubus. They're trying to stop these 2 demigods from taking all over the world. Okay, and yeah, now from a plot perspective, let me just get the negatives out. Okay, because I have far less negatives than positives, and I feel like many people are bitching about this movie, like, oh, like, why did they do this, like this, that, whatever. Like, I had fun with this movie, so let me just take out the negatives first. Let me just tell you what I didn't like about the movie. The plot is generic in and of itself. You have this, how many times have you seen this unworldly, this antagonist, or I guess, or this person or force or whatever trying to take over the world? That's a pretty generic. It is pretty generic in and of itself, I'm not gonna lie. But I still had fun with the plot. Now, many people are saying that the music doesn't really match the tone of the movie from time to time, or, the editing is a bit choppy. For me, I actually really like the music. I never talk about the soundtrack, okay? I really like the soundtrack, so I really don't understand where people are coming off from that. However, the editing, I do see where people are complaining about the editing, because it does feel at times where there are missing scenes. However, I didn't notice it as much as many people, but that's because, again, I was just having fun with the movie. Now, my major issue, which apparently seems to be one of the many things that everybody loves, but this is actually a major issue for me, is Amanda Waller. Viola Davis, she did an okay job in the role. I feel like anybody could have done her, in my opinion. Like they say that Oprah Winfrey was at one time in talks, and I really don't see Oprah Winfrey as a good actress to begin with. But yeah, sure, why not put her? Hell, even Cheryl Boone, who's like the leader of the Academy Awards, could probably done a better job than her. I just didn't care for Amanda Waller. First off, and many people are saying, oh, she's so scary. She's like she should have been the major villain. I'm like, no, I mean, okay, yeah, Enchantress probably, yeah, she's a generic villain because of her motivations, but Amanda Waller, she's just like Amanda Waller in the movies, like or just in the TV or movies, whether it be in Suicide Squad or Arrow or any of the DC animated movies, I just don't like her. I just don't like Amanda Waller as a character when they're trying to portray her, because in the comics, what they do, and I like Amanda Waller in the comics. not in her other portrayals. I really like Amanda Waller in the comics. When they try to portray her in movies and TV, I just do not like it. It just does not mesh in my opinion. The reason I like Amanda Waller in the comics is because despite the fact that she is a bit of a bitch, despite the fact that she will kill a member of the Suicide Squad if need be, she still cares for them to a certain degree. She still cares for them, and she enjoys the company, and she feels complete with them to a certain extent, and she understands them. Okay, and I was kind of hoping they would do the same thing here in the movie, and they just don't. There's this scene towards the end where I think it's Harley Quinn and Boomerang or Deadshot, a bunch of people, they save her. Okay, they save her, and she's like, okay, back to jail. Which, okay, yes, that is kind of how she is in the comics, but in the comics she'd be like, okay, back to jail, but these are some of your rewards. Here, she's like, okay, back to jail, you get 10 years off your life sentence, off all of your life sentences, goodbye. And it wasn't until Deadshot says, like, you know what, fuck you, I want to see my daughter. Harley Quinn's like, can I get a coffee machine? And Killer Croc is like, couldn't I get a TV with BET? That she's like, fine, whatever, but then you go back to jail. She just doesn't really give a shit about them. And I'm like, in the comics, she cares for them to some degree. I mean, sure, she'll still blow off their brains, but she still cares for them. So, I mean, that's the one reason I don't like Amanda Waller, but not just in Suicide Squad. I don't like Amanda Waller in Arrow or any of the DC animated movies, because I just don't feel like they do a proper job at portraying her. Again, my favorite interpretation of Amanda Waller is in the comics. So, and yeah, I feel like everybody's saying like, oh, she is so badass, she's so scary. I'm like, no. I mean, Deadshot could do the same shit if he really wanted to. I'm like, so can Boomerang, Harley Quinn, like any of them could have done the same thing. The only reason it's different with her is because she's a leader. I don't really see the love for Amanda Waller. I mean, it's just she just seems kind of generic. It's just kind of felt like Viola Davis was going through the motions. So, okay, yeah, she's supposed to be kind of a bitch. Okay, got you. Blow up Harley Quinn's head, and bang, bang, bang. They had to be killed because they weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, and some of the writing could have been better. I'm not gonna lie, the writing could have been a bit better, but and whatever. Okay, but just do not like Amanda Waller's character. Now onto good, because for the most part, my bad had to do with Amanda Waller. Now onto what I enjoyed. Everything else, I enjoyed everything else. I will say one last complaint. I will say they could have given a bit more backstory to some of the other characters. Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Katana specifically. I felt like they could have given a bit more backstory to them, because Katana, if you see Arrow, she has this, just looking at Arrow, the TV show Arrow alone, that Katana has this long history that her husband was murdered and all this. She's trying to avenge the death of her husband and her child, and all that. She's going through all that, and here they kind of just give her the only shred of backstory we get is one flashback where she's killing a couple guys in Japan, and then another scene with her like kneeling down talking to her husband through the sword, because her sword can take the souls of the people it's killed, and it's her talking to her husband. Like, that's really the only shred of backstory we got out of her. As for Killer Croc, they're like, oh yeah, he has a skin disease or something like that. He has a skin disease that makes his skin like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I thought Killer Croc was going to be like one of those characters like strong by silent, like the strong by silent type, but when he says something, it's going to be kind of funny. Not necessarily, smart, but kind of like Bebop and Rocksteady, kind of like that, only more quieter. I thought he was going to be like that, but then many people are saying how Killer Croc is more a really tragic soul or whatever. He's a really tragic character, and I kind of looked into the backstory. I'm like, oh, damn, yeah, he is tragic, and I kind of wish it would have given him a bit more backstory as well. Boomerang, I would say Jai Courtney, probably the first movie I actually liked Jai Courtney in. I've seen the Divergent films. I'm like, yeah, Jai Courtney, he's passable. He's okay, but whatever. I haven't seen Die Hard 5 where he's in it, but like the movies I've seen, was like, okay, he's got potential, but not here. Like, I just do not care. Like, you did what you had to do. Now get the fuck out. Sure. And that's kind of how I felt about Jai Courtney up until now. Here, he was really funny. He really took the material he was given and actually did something good with it. It was pretty funny. I think this will be his, I want to say breakout role per se, but I think it is a role that will change opinion on many people. Many people will now have a different opinion on Jai Courtney based on this movie. Like, yeah, he is better. He's just not given good material per se, because the Divergent series is going down to begin with. If you guys haven't heard the news, the last Divergent movie is supposed to be direct-to-TV bullshit. bullshit thing on Stars or some crap like that. So I just feel like it's not giving good material, in my opinion. So I am happy to see him succeed. However, I do wish he would have gotten a bit more backstory, because the backstory we got out of him is the fact that the Flash does appear in this movie as Ezra Miller, which he looks cool. I still kind of wish I would have gotten Grant Gustin, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. It still looks cool. The most flashback we get with Boomerang is the fact that the Flash captures him and he's like, okay, now I'm here. Great. And then Slipknot's kind of there for like 2 seconds before his brain's blown out. But I will say, I am impressed with how much they did with Slipknot. Not in the movie. I'm just like marketing wise. Like if you actually see like some of the posters, like that, like those green posters with like the graffiti stuff or whatever. Like Slipknot has his own poster. There's these white posters that I don't know if you've seen, but there's like these white posters. And Slipknot has his own poster. Like Slipknot does have his own merchandise per se. Adam Beach as Slipknot does have his own merchandise per se. Like he has his own posters and whatever. He's even on the promotional picture, or like the full cast picture and all that. He actually is in a lot more he is in it a bit more marketing wise than he is in the movie. So I'm like, I just kind of find that kind of funny, but I kind of always knew Slipknot was gonna die from like the get go. It just kind of made sense, because like really, like even when I first heard that Slipknot was gonna be in the movie, I'm like, the band, what the fuck? Like, are they gonna be in the soundtrack? You know, like Duality and Psychosocial. I'm like, no, the character. I'm like, the fuck? There's a character called Slipknot. What the fuck? Typed it in, Slipknot DC. Okay, there is. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. So yeah, that was my first. I'm not even joking. That's kind of how I reacted to Slipknot being in this movie. I thought, oh, the band, what the fuck? Maybe the soundtrack, sure. Actually, I wouldn't mind having Psychosocial in the soundtrack. I mean, they do have a pretty, like, the soundtrack is great, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. The action is great. I will say that. The action is great. Like, I really enjoy the action. Many people are complaining how, like, these enemies, like, the enemies are taken out are, like, these bubble suit kind of looking things. Like, they're just these black, kind of bubble-eyed demons. Many people are saying, you know, there's no humanity in the action. I'm like, the fuck, it's action. Who gives a shit about humanity? I mean, yeah, sure, you can have, I mean, there is like, you could have humanity in the action. Sure, I'm not complaining on that, but you're talking about, I mean, like, there's other points of humanity here. Like, who cares? I mean, plus it's demons. Who really gives a fuck? So I'm like, eh. But the action is great. I really like. There's this one action scene, like the one action scene where Will Smith is just like taking out these demons on top of a car, like shooting them. That was all great. Deadshot has a lot of backstory here with his daughter and stuff. That was great. You know how Batman kind of caught him as he's taking his daughter back to her house. That was great. Harley Quinn, we get some of the backstory with Harley Quinn. Like, Deadshot and Harley Quinn probably got the most backstory in my opinion. And Red Flag also got some backstory, and so did Diablo. But aside from that, we don't get much backstory from the other characters, as I just said. But Deadshot and Harley Quinn are the standouts, in my opinion. Harley Quinn and how her interactions with the Joker, I thought were great. And now, is Jared Leto the best Joker we've had? No. Is he the worst? I'll say he's better than Cesar Romero, which, I mean, I didn't grow up in the 60s. I mean, I've seen some of the Cesar Romero Joker episodes, and I'm like, yeah, they're fun, but I'm like, I prefer Dark, so that's just my opinion. He's no Heath Ledger, he's no Jack Nicholson, he's no Mark Hamill, he's no Cesar Romero, but he is a good Joker at the end, in my opinion. Is his look the best look for the Joker? Probably not. I mean, sure, he looks like a mob boss on fucking Quaaludes or whatever. I mean, maybe, you know, take out that damage tattoo on his forehead. Kind of just really bothers me for some reason. But, you know, I mean, he looks good. I would say that he looks good. He looks the part. He does good. Maybe his design could have been better, possibly. But again, that's all a matter of opinion at the end. So, yeah, I mean, I thought he did a good job as a Joker. I just kind of wish we would have seen more. So, aside from that, you know, more character development. Yeah, like, again, the pacing is a bit all over the place. But again, I really didn't mind it, to be honest. I mean, like, yeah, they had their moments of exposition, like towards the beginning and towards the middle, but at the end, I really didn't care. Diablo, I really like Diablo. I really like Diablo in the comics, and I really like him here. Again, because he's this tortured soul, and in this interpretation, he kills his family by accident with his powers. I'm like, oh, that's cruel, and that kind of explains why he's a pacifist. So, or he tries to be a pacifist. So I do feel bad for him. Again, I kind of just wish there's more development with him. However, I do like his death at the end, because whereas Slipknot, they kind of just killed him off like no problem. Here, they kind of, I kind of liked how they gave him development, because like because you always, like, if you didn't know the comics, you probably wouldn't know this. But for me, since I read the comics, I know he's a tortured soul. But if you didn't read the comics, you'd be like, oh, so he just burned people. Oh, he's here, okay, whatever. But him having that backstory at the end was good. It was good, explaining how he got to where he is now. And it's one of those things like, I know I'm a monster, but I'm not the monster you all see me as. He kind of just takes down Incubus and then dies in an explosion. I'm like, oh shit, that sucks. But yeah, however, I will say I kind of wish they would have given more of his backstory towards the beginning, because at the moment, when looking back at it, when they did it at that time, it just kind of felt like setup. Oh yeah, by the way, backstory for him, so you guys care about him when he dies, like in about 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, I just kind of wish they would have given him a bit more backstory, just throughout the whole story. I will say that my favorite scene, my personal favorite scene throughout the whole movie was the bar scene, because aside from giving development to Diablo, we also get a bit more of insight as to where Deadshot and Harley Quinn are, because and Rick Flag is. So yeah, we also get a bit more out of Killer Croc. How he's like you kind of sense that he has a damaged soul like everybody else, but again, more development with him. Boomerang's kind of just there in the background, and so is Katana. But yeah, I really like that scene. It's probably my favorite. I want to say it's my favorite scene. However, there are so many great scenes in this movie. It's just kind of hard to choose. But for now, like character building scene would have to be the bar scene. Even in the trailers, it did look cool. However, I was disappointed that they kind of cut it down, because in the trailers, Harley Quinn's like, so what do you all want to drink? And it's like beer, whiskey, whatever, whiskey, martini or whatever. And then Diablo's like water, and she's like, good choice. So I'm kind of sad they kind of cut down that scene, but. So yeah, I do want to see the extended cut, because whereas Batman v Superman, they have the extended cut, which is like another half hour, and people are saying, it just brings us a bit more of Steppenwolf and Jesse Eisenberg, whatever. It's not really, it's worth it, but not really. Here I really want to see the extended cut, because I'm assuming they probably cut out another hour of film, half an hour to an hour of film, and I really want to see how this goes, because again, you probably would have seen more Joker, maybe a bit more backstory, maybe a bit more action, which I wouldn't be bad to see. I really want to see how most of this goes down. So yeah, I mean, overall, I don't think that the hate this is getting for is deserved. Like 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, like what the like that is a fucking travesty, especially when you consider that Ghostbusters has like 70, like what is it, like 75% or some shit like that. And then there's the whole issue with Suicide Squad fans, or just DC fanboys, trying to take down Rotten Tomatoes because apparently they hate the DC universe or whatever, which is kind of stupid when you think about it, because Warner Bros. Owns Rotten Tomatoes, and even after that, it's more of an algorithm than, it's not, Rotten Tomatoes doesn't come up with the score. They don't rate the movie, it's just an algorithm. Like, oh, take these critics' opinion, that's what they all score. Take the average, that's the score for the movie. It just, whatever. I did a video on that before I posted this video, so yeah. Overall, I enjoyed the movie, really like it. Don't understand what although I understand what the problems, although I understand the problems and issues that the critics have with this movie, for me, I just really have fun with it, and I think it's one of the better comic book movies we've gotten this year. I think it's the second best. Cause remember, Doctor Strange has yet to come out, but I feel like this is the second best comic book movie we've gotten this year after Deadpool. I am dead serious. I am not retracting that statement at all. This has to be the second best movie after Deadpool to come out this year. And would it be on my top 10 favorite comic book movies? Maybe towards the bottom, like maybe bottom 5, or as an honorable mention, I will say that. But I do feel like this is a good movie, and it definitely, out of Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad, this by far, I mean, for sure it's just the first 3 movies, but so far, this has to be the best DC extended universe movie we've had thus far. And if we're going to talk about DC movies in general, with the Christopher Reeves Superman movies, and the Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney's Batman movies, and then the Nolan trilogy, again, I'd put it top 10. I'd probably put that one on a top 10 best DC movies of all time list. So yeah, for me, it's my favorite DC, one of my favorite DC movies. I'm kind of hesitant to say this one, because I'm not really sure, because I'd have to actually rank it. But I want to say it should be one of my favorite comic book movies, top 10, maybe top 15, favorite comic book movies. I just really like it. I had a lot of fun with it. I see the issues, but at the end of the day, I just had fun. So kill me. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'll give this an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, just Amanda Waller kind of just being kind of Amanda Waller is just an issue of her own in general, in my opinion. So there's that. Just some of the pacing and writing could have been better. And backstories for sure could have been better, and the plot could have maybe not be so generic. But at the end of the day, I really enjoyed this movie. I had fun with it, and yeah, that's basically it for now. Poster. Yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe, comment down below, like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever is preferred. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.